Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am back in Portugal in my parents' house just quickly for the weekend. I actually redid this room in a minimalist makeover a couple months ago, so I'll leave the link down below for that if you want to see it. This video is actually going to be featuring the corner of my desk because this is the place in my room with the best lighting, so we're just gonna have to make it work. For today's video, I actually wanted to give you guys some tips on how to live with a non-minimalist. I actually see this issue come up a lot in groups that I'm a part of, and it's just people saying that they really want to adopt a more minimalist lifestyle, but their significant other or their roommate or their parents or whoever just aren't on board with the whole concept. I personally am pretty lucky because my boyfriend lives with me and my best friend is currently staying at our place as well, and they're both pretty minimal people. My best friend's living off of her suitcase right now, so it's not like she has a lot of things, and my boyfriend is just sort of on board with the whole idea of like less stuff is nicer in terms of productivity and just like headspace and everything like that. But it was definitely a journey. It wasn't like this in the beginning. I redid his dorm room actually. Because of that, I wanted to help him out. Also going to leave the link to that down below. I just wanted to give you guys some tips and tricks on what to do and how to make it work if you have to share space with a non-minimalist. So tip number one is actually probably the most important one, and it's to guide by example and not by force. I feel like when you try to sit down with someone and say like, I need you to go through your closet and take out any clothes that you don't want anymore and donate them, as human beings, we tend to sort of push back when people give us orders or commands or just like force something on us. So what I'm talking about is essentially like, if you go through your closet and you make your closet look fantastic, your significant other or your parents or someone at some point is going to be like, whoa, like you have such an easy time pulling things out of your closet and making outfits. They see how easy it is for you to access everything and to see everything. It actually makes a world of a difference. It worked with my mom, for example. She saw me clean up my childhood bedroom here last summer, and she was like, wow, I need to go through my closet and I need to do my own stuff. And then I asked her like, do you want some help? And she accepted it. But leading by example is extremely important. Tip number two is to actually give them a space that you'll respect and let them have how they want to have. I don't know if that makes any sense, but for example, a deal I have with my boyfriend when we move out of this apartment into a bigger house is that he gets to have a man cave somewhere, and I will not say anything about how that room is. Like, that is his space. He can do whatever he wants with it. And the reason I say this is because if you determine, even if you're sharing a house with someone, if you determine like what are common areas and what are your areas, then it's a little bit easier to set boundaries as to like what areas have to be kept a certain standard and what areas like can be completely up to them. So what I mean by this is, for example, if let's say your husband walks in the house every day and puts things on a counter, your kitchen counter, clear up a drawer that's very close by to that same location and say, listen, you can throw anything you want in this drawer is yours. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem, but you will find that at least it's not on your counter anymore. My boyfriend wanted to bring his PlayStation over to the apartment, and I don't like the aesthetic of PlayStations and remotes and a lot of things sitting around on a TV console, so I just gave him an entire box and I said, you know, you can put all your PlayStation games, controllers, everything in this box. Every time you want to use it, just pull it out, plug it in. He leaves the cables plugged in, so it's really easy, and then just put it back after the PS is cooled down, and it works. He likes the system because, I mean, I'm happy and he's happy. So tip number three is to offer to help them go through something, but be supportive, not pushy. And this is extremely important to keep in mind. So for example, let's say that your roommate has an area of the bathroom that is an absolute mess. Go up to them and be like, hey, I'm planning on cleaning up my area of the bathroom. Do you want me to sit with you and we can sort through your stuff to see if there's anything that's expired or that you need to throw out? And then I'll take everything to the recycling with me or to the donation bin or whatever, and see how they react. Maybe if you guys sit together and you actually clean both of your areas together, then you can motivate each other to do that. Definitely steer for the supportive aspect and not the pushy aspect. Tip number four is to come to a compromise. Let's say that you have been meaning to do something for your significant other or for your friends and you've been putting it off. Go up to them and be like, hey, do you remember that thing that I've been meaning to do? Washing their car, for example, or vacuuming their car. I will do that if you will go through that one junk drawer you have, and this way we both do something for each other. Is that cool? Like, can we do that? And see what they say, because sometimes they might want to do something for you if you do something for them. Tip number 5 is for if you're non-minimalist co-inhabitant. I'm trying to keep the term really general and not keep saying like significant other. Tip number 5 is if they are a shopper, try to steer them into spending their money on experiences instead of objects. This worked really well with my boyfriend, and it's not like I had a plan to do this, but it just sort of happened naturally, where he used to be pretty big on shopping for clothes. And then I started showing him, like, you know, for the price of that sweater you just bought, you could have bought a flight to New York. Actually sounds crazy, but I got myself a flight to New York for 100 euros, and like some brands sell hoodies for 100 euros. So I started encouraging him to try to spend his money more on like memories and less on objects. And that's worked out pretty well, so that's something you could try out too. Tip number 6 is if they are messy, try to establish chores and divide and conquer. So if your house tends to be kind of messy because you both just try to keep up with the cleaning once in a while, actually establish chores to each of the people that live in this house. For example, the bathroom area and the laundry at our place is usually my territory. The kitchen is usually my best friend's territory. And like vacuuming in the living room is usually my boyfriend's territory. So when something is a little bit messier, we kind of know like who needs to be on top of that area. For me, minimalism very much directly impacts my anxiety levels. So for example, my boyfriend knows that if the house is a mess, I can't focus on working. And I know that that sounds so silly, but if there are dishes to clean, I will probably be like, I'm gonna do those before I get to work. Once I sat down with him and I explained like, you know, when I see clutter everywhere, my anxiety really spikes. Once I explained it to him like that, things kind of changed, as opposed to if you tried to tell your significant other, like, look at all this crap, like, this is driving me bananas, like, it's driving me bananas, like. If you say it in that way, they might not understand exactly how much clutter is impacting you and how much it's actually affecting you. So sitting down and talking to them and really taking the time to explain why it's so important to you really makes a huge difference. I hope this video helped you guys out a little bit. If you liked it, don't forget to give a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I will see you guys in my next week's video.